The confidence that Fresno State got after their demanding win against Southern this past weekend could mean huge things for them when they head into Mountain West play this coming week, starting off the game at Hawaii. There's so much to be excited for Fresno State right now. Being 3-1 on the season after losing to KU at the beginning of the year, you might have thought that there was going to be a slow start for this new coaching staff, but that's not the case. That's not the case for Fresno State at all. After beating Georgia Southern in what was a game that many didn't agree with the spread, Georgia Southern kind of threw a burger down and they took care of business 42-14, especially in that second half. Then, as we mentioned in the first segment of today's show, what they took care of Oregon State with. They let Oregon State stick around. That wasn't the best game by Fresno State by any means, but they got the job done. An ugly win is still a win when you're looking at the records at the end of the season. And then what they did against FCS Southern this past weekend, 56-7. The score is not the biggest thing to have confidence on. It's EJ Warner. I have gone on this show in the past and said EJ Warner is the biggest liability to Fresno State. And although I still might actually agree with that because he is probably still the liability, he's got to still prove it to me against FBS opponents. He'll have a chance to do that on the road in Hawaii this weekend and in the late slate. If you're going to stay up and be a college football sicko, you can watch that one, a one-on-one, midnight Eastern times, true Pac-12 after dark kind of conversation here. But EJ Warner finally threw a touchdown pass. And not only did he throw one touchdown pass, he threw four against Southern. He was electric. He had a great game against FCS opponent Southern and threw for 240 yards as well. 20 for 24 on his completions. It was an all-around great performance by EJ Warner. Now, can he translate that and move it to Mountain West competition? I think he can. And going against Hawaii, I would say probably middle of the pack in the Mountain West this year. What a perfect time to show that you can take that next step forward and continue that confidence, continue that momentum for a team that's 3-1 in the first year for Matt Entz. I really like where they're at the moment. This team screams an easy bowl team if they continue this trajectory. The running game has been fantastic. Rayshawn Luke, Donaldson as well. There's a lot of really great things going on with this offensive unit. If they can take care of Hawaii, they move to 4-1 on the season. Then you have Nevada, Colorado State, who has been struggling this year. San Diego State, who we need to talk about, might potentially be on the hot seat with his coach as well. Boise State, Wyoming, Utah State, San Jose State. This is at least a 6-win team. I mean, a pretty easy over on the 6 wins. If they can continue to get the performance from EJ Warner and the running game stepping up. I really like what I saw from them against Southern. And of course, you can take what you will because it is an FCS opponent, right? I get that. Southern's only been 1-3 on the year, but they had 507 total yards. The offense was humming. This is a great feeling. And it was even 282 yards passing, 225 yards on the ground. They didn't have a lot of penalties. They had controlled the time of possession. Everything went well for Fresno State. Now, Hawaii has had their moments so far this season. So this is a true piece of competition. Hawaii beat Stanford at the beginning of the season. They've also been embarrassed by Arizona. So Fresno State needs to get themselves in the Arizona category and make a statement win on the road in the Hawaiian Islands and take care of the Rainbow Warriors. I think they can do it. I think they absolutely can do it. The biggest question is, what kind of EJ Warner will show up? Will it be an EJ Warner that throws 4 touchdowns, or will it be an EJ Warner that throws under pressure, makes some mistakes, and gets some interceptions and makes this game a lot closer than it should be? That's the biggest question that we need from Fresno State in this one. But looking at the rest of the roster, of course, I want to talk about this running game because the running back game is what has carried this Fresno State team this entire season so far. It is truly their identity, and what a great identity to have. Being successful on the run game, it just opens up everything else, and that's exactly what you need if you're a team like Fresno State. Donaldson has been absolutely electric. Bryson Donaldson, what he has done so far this season, 50 carries, 325 yards, averaging 6.5 yards per carry, but right behind him is Rayshawn Luke. I mean, talking about being Arizona, coming over from Arizona, Rayshawn Luke has been electric as, dare I say, a running back 1B. I don't even think he's the second string running back. You got a 1A and 1B on your team going for 224 yards on only 36 carries, right up there with the 6 yards per carry average, just like Donaldson. You have two guys that are averaging over 6 yards a pop. That is electric. That alone will win you football games. And then add the EJ Warner, hopefully confidence, hopefully not having those turnovers. And you are in a great position to not only get yourself to a bowl game under the first year of this new coaching staff, but to potentially get yourself competing for a Mountain West title and maybe even find yourself battling for a college football playoff position. I don't know if I want to go that far yet. I think they're still a year or maybe 2 years behind on that potential, but still, you are overachieving in the best ways when it comes to this offense. And Elijah Gilliam is another great piece on this running back unit. He's only got 100 yards on the season, but every time he touches the ball, he does great things too. Again, almost averaging 6 yards a carry. This running back room is doing exactly what they need to do to bring the identity. Identity is the buzzword going around college football right now. For teams that are not succeeding and for teams that are succeeding, you can tell the difference on how it is, and it all is about identity. Teams that have found their identity, especially some of these early building teams with new coaching staffs inside the program, if they can find their identity early, they're seeing early success. You're not seeing it with Oregon State, but you're seeing it with Fresno State. You're not seeing it with Wazoo, but you're seeing it with Fresno State. And that's something huge that they can continue to carry on, hopefully if they can continue and keep that roster retention for the new season next year in the Pac-12. I like where Fresno State's at. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch the rest of the season. Their schedule actually is pretty good as well, with the exception of playing Boise State, because, well, Boise State's beatable, but with the exception of playing Boise State and maybe actually Utah State as well, I think they can do really well. I think they could potentially run the table with the exception of those two games. This could easily be a team that goes 9-3 at the end of the season. And that would be a great place to hang your hat heading into the new Pac-12 next season. Lots of excitement for Fresno State, for EJ Warner, Donaldson, Matt Entz, you name it. A lot of good stuff for the Bulldogs heading forward this season.